How often do you say yes when you really want to say no? What would it feel like to say no without feeling guilty? As Black women, we are often socialized to be caregivers and nurturers, sometimes at the expense of our own well being. And this can be challenging in both personal and professional settings. I have been there. People actually expect Black women to be everything to everyone, everywhere, all at once. At this point, I just want to encourage you, Black women, to start setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential to self preservation and mental health. So check it out. Former First Lady Michelle Obama, it's all over the news, all over social media, everywhere. She is not going to a certain upcoming event. Okay. And people seem to be losing their minds about her not attending this particular event. Now, many people consider it historical, and for the United States, in many ways, for many years, it has been a historical tradition. However, we know, going back to recent history, those historical traditions were interrupted by a certain person. Now, you say, Colette, why are you talking in code? Because I'm not trying to get banned or get my video taken down on YouTube because you never know what's going to happen. But this is what I'm going to say to you. He said, I'm not going. And that's it. She said, I'm not going. Michelle Obama said, no, I won't go. That should be it. But it is not. People feel like they have the right to tell Black women what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. As if we have no self agency over our time, over our thoughts, over our very desire of where we want to be. So I have been just seeing this stuff all over the news, and I'm like, why is this a big deal? What is the problem? She said no. And I grew up, at least in my English class. In fact, I have a bachelor's degree in English that no, those two letters, N-O, it's a complete sentence. It's not a question, it's a sentence. It's not a question, it's a declaration. It's not a question. There's a period at the end. In other words, it's I said what I said. Now, you have some people saying, hey, why isn't she going to be there? And I, for the life of me, don't understand it. I'm trying to figure out how people think it's their business or how they're entitled to know why a fully grown adult woman in her 50s needs to explain why she is not going to an event. Now, she could say, I have a headache. And she could say it now and, say, I'm going to have one on that day. She could say, I'm going to be out of the country. She could say, there's a scheduling conflict. She could say all those things. But my question is, why does she have to explain anything? Because when the invitation was sent, the response was provided based on what I'm seeing. And the response was, no, I won't go. And that should be it. So you might be saying, Colette, why are you doing this video? Girl, I'm doing this video. I was going to say something else and use another example. But I said, shoot, this is a good example because I just responded to Instagram message about this very thing. The thing that I wanted to point out is we have a right to say no. No allows space for things that truly matter, your goals, your passions, and your peace of mind. And guess what? You don't have to explain that to anybody. You don't have to explain it to anybody, not even to me. Okay? So, why people think that she has to explain herself to people? I'm lost. I'm lost. She said no, and that should be it. So, one of the things that you can do if you're the type of person who's not accustomed to saying no is to start with something you really don't want to do. And you haven't been wanting to do it for years, but you just been doing it. Now, I'm not saying things, we all do things we don't want to do, right? We all go places we don't want to go. We go to different graduations of people. I personally do not like going to funerals, but I go when it's people who are important to me or it's people who are important to people who are important to me. Okay. I go for support, but I don't like going to funerals. So I'm saying all this to say sometimes we all do things and go places that we don't want to go to, right? I am saying it is okay to say no. We don't have to go to every event that we're invited to, regardless of our personal or professional expectations that are placed on us by others. It's okay to say no and just mean no. It's okay to say no and not explain. So, for people who are not accustomed to saying no, you could start by saying no to something small. Can you go run and do this for me? I'm not going to be able to do that right now. Can you go to that meeting? I'm not going to go to that meeting right now. Can you take notes? Not going to be able to take notes at this point. Not interested. However, you want to say it. Because sometimes you get to a point where you just don't want to do the thing. You don't have to do the thing. What I absolutely love about this situation is that we have an expectation from others of someone else. Just an expectation. That's not in her job title. And I'm speaking back to former First Lady Michelle Obama, not her priority. And so she said no. So, sisters, I am going to challenge you to be brave this week. This week, practice saying no in one situation where you usually feel obligated to say yes. It could be a social event, an extra project, or an expectation you've placed on your, because a lot of times we place stuff on ourselves, right? And share how it felt to say no in the comments. And let me tell you something, these little small acts of, some people may call it defiance, calling it reclaiming yourself, who you are. And I'm saying that you have a right to say no. You don't have to say yes to everybody. And she said no. Now, if it had been me, I'd have said, I ain't gonna say, because my mama and Aunt Charlene watching. So look at these two videos on the screen on either side. If you want some more information on how to empower yourself, this video again was brought to you by my mama, Wealthy. All right, talk soon. Peace.